Back to tonight then. Let's get straight into the team news from Anfield. Arne Slot making wholesale changes as last season's runners-up hosts Southampton. I say wholesale changes, all 11 from the derby win over Everton. Alexander Isak, the big story, starts up front tonight as they try to get more fitness into the legs of the new striker. Georgi Mamarashvili, the new keeper, and 18-year-old Giovanni Leone start. They make their Liverpool debuts. Federico Chiesa makes his first start of the season. And Trey Nioni and Rio Ngamoa, he of that 100th minute winner against Newcastle, both make their second career Liverpool start. So that is the Liverpool 11. All changed for them. Almost all changed for Southampton. Trip to the Premier League champions for them just 3 days after they lost at Hull, leaving them 19th in the Championship. 9 changes from that team. Ryan Manning and Kasper Jander are the only players to remain. Elias Yellert and Leo Scienza both make their first starts for the club. We'll chat to the guys in the studio about this game in just a moment, but since the start of last season, Southampton have won more ties in the Carabao Cup than league games. And their only Championship win so far came on the opening day. It's a huge night for their new boss, Will Still, at Anfield. Let's hear from him now.
Will, you said you'd switch things around for this cup tie from your regular Championship lineup. How do you approach coming here, though, to the home of the Premier League champions?
I think it's a one-off. I think it's a good opportunity to set things right from the result on Saturday and at the weekend. And we just need to stand back up again. We need to, put our hands up, say that it wasn't good enough, and get on with the job. And I think playing another game is the perfect opportunity to do that, albeit against an incredibly good team, an incredibly talented team. But again, it's an opportunity for a few players, and we just want to show the best image or the best version of what Southampton can do, because we've done it in bits over the start of the season, but not in a full game yet. So we want to come in and stand up and show what we can do.
Are you still trying to find that right balance in these early stages of the season?
Yeah, I think we've kind of had 3 squads. We had a squad to start pre-season off, then we had a squad to start the season off, and then that squad significantly changed at the end of the transfer window. So I think I knew it wasn't going to be an instant fix, and I was well aware of what I was putting my feet into and what I was getting involved with. But it's just, we are where we are. I think that's the reality of the situation, and we all know how much work needs to go in it, and we all know how much improvement is needed. And it takes a bit of time. It takes a bit of patience. I hate losing more than anyone. But it is what it is, and we've just got to get on with it.
You talked about
there he is. We'll leave it there. Will Still, the new Southampton boss, not really gone to plan in the league for him so far, but he could become a big hit with the fans if he were to get a result at Anfield tonight. But Tim, needless to say, it's a big ask when you face a Liverpool side that, even with 11 changes, still includes one Alexander Isak. I mean, normally Premier League clubs give their star players a night off at this stage of the competition. Does it make sense to you for him to play tonight?
Oh, absolutely. He needs to get up to speed. Just looking at Will there, looks excited about the prospect of playing at Anfield. I mean, you probably would, even with the players they've got on offer. You'd be a little bit scared. Isak needs to play 100%. He's played bit part at the moment. He's played a couple of times, only 20 minutes at a time for his national team as well when he went away. Now he's back. They need to get an hour into him tonight, even a little bit more. They'll probably leave it up to him to tell him when he's tired. But I think it's a really important game for Liverpool, even though they made changes, and it's probably the least of the trophies, which they would probably target. But I think it's really important when you've got a big squad of quality players like Liverpool have. You have to give them the minutes, and you have to keep them sharp and keep them ready for when they are asked to perform at Champions League level or maybe in the Premier League. So it's really important they progress. They didn't last year. It was the FA Cup against Plymouth. They played a weakened side. They get knocked out of that. I bet they rue that. It was later on in the day. It was February time. But I just think it's really important for them to keep in every competitions and play on all fronts, just to keep their squad happy. And it's going to be difficult for Southampton tonight. They know that. Don't need me to tell them.
I can just tell by looking at the panel they're all desperate to get started. But before I come to the rest of you, we're going to hear from Arne Slot, because he's been talking about the changes, talking about starting Isak as well. Here he is.
Arne, you said you were going to make a lot of changes, wholesale changes to your lineup tonight. What are you hoping to see?
A lot of similar things than what we normally see, because these players have trained with us for a few of them already for a long time, but since we've started this season, three months now, I think, and they've been part of lineups, they've been part of every training session. So now, hopefully, we can see similar things as what we see in other games we've played.
A second start for his Liverpool career for Alexander Isak as well, and we know you're trying to get him up to speed, up to rhythm.
Yeah. That's where the focus is on. And in the meantime, we have to keep winning, of course. But it's good that he has playing time. Again, he will not play 90 today because that's too soon for him yet. But it's nice actually that we have games, so we can play him. And today he starts the game, but he's not going to play for 90. That's for sure.
He won't play for 90. That is for sure. We'll see how he gets on. But Courtney, once he is fully up to speed, is Slot going to have a bit of a problem on his hands? Because what happens with Hugo Ekitike? The way he started, you can't be leaving him out, can you?
It's about, in general, I think, keeping everyone happy. And we've mentioned about the big squad, and comes with that in terms of those egos, those personalities that want to play. Ekitike, for me, I feel really hard done by if he comes out the squad or gets pushed out wide, because he started so well. But that's the nature of football. That's the nature when you're spending, 125, 130 million plus on players they expect to play. So yes, he would feel hard done by, and you've got to keep players happy. But I think, as Tim said, this is why you need to keep, in these cups, you need to make sure you've got the amount of games, especially with the investment that Liverpool in the squad, to try. I say try because it doesn't always work, to try and keep everyone happy, and also to find that momentum in terms of performance. Because yes, Liverpool have won games. Has it been overly convincing at times? No, I don't think it has. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing, because we know the cliche about champions winning games and finding a way. But there needs to be a point where there also needs to be a consistency in performance, and they'll hope that comes tonight. But
I mean, we'll talk more about that in a second. But just generally, Steve, 5 points clear Liverpool after just 5 games. Yeah. Are they going to run away with this title?
It looks as though they are, even though they're still finding their feet, and most of the teams in the Premier League are still finding their feet. You look at the teams just below them in that crop, no one's really standing out to give them a real push. The teams down the bottom, we could go on about Wolves and West Ham, and the teams that have come up, they got a great chance of staying up. But I think with Liverpool, everyone's going on about them winning these games and scoring late. And is that bad? I think it's brilliant. I think because you get that mentality where you go into games now, and if it's tight towards the end of a game, you've got that mindset, just like how it was with Man United back in sort of the late 90s and early noughties, that they got that mindset where they know they can go and win a game. So I only see that as a positive. The competition for places is brilliant. Everyone's going to be at it. Everyone's going to be wanting to play in the game. So training's going to be going through the roof. I think they could do this. I thought before a ball was kicked, this would be the most entertaining Premier League on record. I'm looking at now going, Liverpool could win this at a canter.
Yeah. And that's the thing, Michael, as well. We'll talk about that defensive issue in a second. They are still conceding goals, but once they sort that out, assuming they crack that, and Isak gets up to speed and starts scoring, and Wirtz shows the player that he is from his form in Germany. It's a bit ominous for the rest, isn't it?
Well, people are talking that Liverpool aren't up to speed. Well, let's worry for everyone else when they do get up to speed. Yeah. I mean, 5 games, 15 points. And we've got to remember a lot went on in the summer. There was a turnover in players, 2 new fullbacks, Ekitike coming in. There was a lot surrounding Isak. Wirtz coming in, who I think will be electric for Liverpool. We're still yet to see it, but give this young man a chance. I'm a huge fan of him. And people talk about, where's he going to play? Don't worry about Liverpool. They've got enough games, and these boys will play an awful amount of minutes. But I echo what Courtney and what Tim said. Every competition, there was a moment when they beat Tottenham Hotspur last year in the semi-final, and people talking about doing the quadruple. And I'm thinking, wow, that's a big statement to go out there and talking about this. But this team and the money that's been invested, they have to be competitive. Every single competition, whether it be the Carabao Cup or the Champions League, creme de la creme, that's where they have to be. And I think it's a squad capable. People talk about defensively. Look, it's five moments in the game that you are going to make mistakes. You are going to give up opportunities. And can the opposition make a chance? But I tell you what they've got some belief. 2-0 up against Atletico last week. Teams that still believe, go on, we'll keep pushing. Then Virgil comes up with a 90-plus minute goal. That's a mentality, a winning mentality that's got huge belief and a huge togetherness. And I think the football club showed that in the summer with everything that went off. Yeah. A football club that can deal with tragedy, and that's Liverpool.
I suppose defensively, it's not going to be perfect at this time of the season, Tim. But why is it happening? Because the Everton game, 2-0 up, for the 4th time in 6 matches, they let the other team back into the game, allow them to concede and made a game of it. It's becoming a bit of a thing. What do you put it down to?
It is, but like Sida's touched on the Man United side of the 90s. They used to do that, you know, but they would outscore teams, you know, and it's not only Liverpool and Man United back in the day who expect to score late on, it's the opposition who expect to concede as well, because they were looking at it, they know that they come strong right till the end. Yeah, they would want to tighten up. Van Dijk's still the Rolls Royce we expect him to be. I think Konate's had a slow start, I really do. He picked up an injury, he's back in the team now. That's why it's an important night for Gomez there and Leone, who's going to come in there as centre-half tonight. And then fringe players have to impress the manager. I think this manager, if you perform for him and if you're working hard in training, I think there's every chance you will play. I think no one's guaranteed to start, I don't think, in this side, because competition for places is everything. You know, when you've got a strong squad, the biggest competition they would probably have is not the game on a Saturday, it's probably against their opposition or the players who are in their dressing room with them every single day on a training field, trying to impress the manager. That's a good trait to have. That's an amazing situation to have you fight. So even though it's a problem, you highlighted it with the forward players where they're all going to play, it's a lovely problem to have. Absolutely delightful for Liverpool, and you're absolutely right. I can't see anyone else touching them at the moment. They will have a low, that will happen, but it's up to the likes of the chasing group. Arsenal obviously and Man City will be the two teams who will chase them hardest, I would suggest. They need to be on fire at that time and really take advantage of it. But at the moment, even without firing on all cylinders, you know, taking maximum points is an incredible turnaround of form.
And taking maximum points from the derby at the weekend as well, and, you know, absolutely dominating the first half. Courtney, 6 wins in a row in Premier League and Champions League after this?
It's not too bad, is it, at all? And as I say, I mentioned that sometimes the performances aren't quite there. But like you say, with 6 games in, it doesn't matter. What a fantastic finish that is, by the way. And they've got match winners all over the pitch. That's the big thing for me. You know, Ekitike, I think, has had a brilliant start, and then you're thinking about Salah, then you're thinking about Virgil van Dijk when he pops up from the back with important goals. So all over that pitch, they have got match winners. And yeah, for Arne Slot, like Tim said, it's a problem, but it's the best problem in football to have, because, as you say, they will be pushing each other in training every single day, and then he's got those decisions to make, and I think he's the one as well. Just the little bits and bobs. You know what you've seen from him in the first season, that he didn't come in, he didn't wholesale change, he just improved what was there and made it better when no one was expecting him to, in terms of going to win the Premier League. And they're winning games now, and that's what he'll do. He'll just keep tweaking it. He'll keep looking. He see what's working, see what's not. He wasn't afraid to take Wirtz out because he hasn't probably been performing to the level that we expect right now. But again, we know coming to the Premier League, it's difficult, and he's got to get up to speed. And you know, I wouldn't want any other manager from what I've seen last season, and Arne Slot in charge of a group like that.
In game, he makes huge decisions at the right time. He's bringing players on. They're performing. They're scoring goals. Kirkes, when he gets booked for diving, he drags him off the pitch. It's handy when you've got someone like Robertson who can come in and take over. But he's making a big decision. He's getting them all right at the moment. Yeah,
we're going to talk about another club who maybe aren't, the manager not quite getting them right at the moment in just a moment. But just a final thought on this, Steve, and Liverpool. Give me your experience of being in a changing room, particularly now with the quality of this Liverpool squad, 2 players for every position. As the season goes on, from the managers you've worked with, what is the right way to handle a squad and the competition and players who are in and out of the team, and what is the wrong way to go about it?
Well, you base it on training. You base it on training to see who's at it every day, who wants to fight for their place, who wants to play. And more often than not, when things are going great on the pitch, everyone, Monday to Friday, day to day, is very easy. You know, everyone's, there's a good culture, there's a good environment around the place, everybody's laughing, everyone's joking. It's the tough times when you find out what players want to play. You know, and I'm sure there's plenty of characters. I see a lot of personalities in this Liverpool squad that will want to play every single game because they're going to want to win every single medal.
George Mamadashvili, the goalkeeper, here we are, going through his paces, makes his Liverpool debut tonight. 18-year-old Giovanni Leone in defence starts, makes his debut as well, and starts the likes of Chiesa, Leone and Ungamora as well. So a chance for some of those players to catch the eye of Arne Slot in the Carabao Cup tonight. Liverpool 5 points clear in the Premier League. Chelsea in action tonight in the Cup. They are already 8 points behind Liverpool in the table after that defeat at Old Trafford on Saturday.